Ursula Barton. I am a Portland-based artist and muralist, and today I will be sharing my process that came from an accidental ink spill back in 2012 and has now become the backbone of my process as an ink artist, as well as when I'm creating large-scale murals. In most cases, I start with a sketch of the most iconic buildings of a city, or in this case, two cities, Savannah, Georgia, and Sydney, Australia, and I connect them within an imaginary cityscape. Once I have my sketch, I start every painting the same way, with a random spill of water followed by a quick squirt of ink from the eyedropper. From there, I just react to the textures that the ink naturally creates, moving and spreading the ink with a large fat brush and water so that I don't have any finite control. And I'll always be keeping in mind the composition of my original sketch. Having a rough idea of where I want to put the bridges, I create a loose pathway that will act as a guide once I start adding the details later. With an even larger brush, I start to picture where the tallest buildings will go within the composition, always trying to create texture and contrast. When the black of the ink seems to take over, I remove it with a paper towel and add some white acrylic-based ink to mix with the black water-based ink so that I can try to see if I can get some new grays in there. One mixing technique I use is joining pools. I do this with a big brush and some water to connect separate pools so that the inks can interact, and by using gravity, by lifting the page and tilting it. Sometimes I drop my paintbrush, or an accident happens and leaves a mark. And the beauty of working loosely outside of controlled expectations is the freedom to incorporate new marks into the painting with ease. This works out great for me because I happen to be pretty clumsy. When I feel the painting is becoming too controlled, I create opportunities for accidents. By adding another random squirt from the eyedropper, and by throwing ink at the page without a plan or an idea of where anything's gonna go. I just react to the mess that I'm making. At this point, I am just focused on creating textures and values that are interesting to me by lifting the page and joining pools and reacting to what's happening in front of me. Now with a brush, I start to add the rough details of buildings, always keeping my original sketch in mind. I am careful not to get too controlled, so I'll continue to add splashes of water and continue to throw ink at the page to make sure that I'm not controlling the whole image. I will repeat this process until I get the contrast I am looking for. The last step is to soak up some of the water in the black ink with a towel and add more of the white acrylic-based ink to create the highlights of the city. And once I feel like the painting is done, I'll set it aside and let it dry, and then I'll go back into it once it's completely dry with a pen and some acrylic-based inks and do the detail work of the imaginary cityscape on top of the underpainting. Here are some more examples of the process from underpainting to completed cityscape.